Okay, so remember, they're changing my voice. A lot of what they do is try to create a situation where I do what is called doublethink, right? Damned if you don't, damned if you do. And it's very childish, right? And recently they've been trying to kind of push me more toward trying to get me to kill myself. Now, I'm not suicidal. People shouldn't be locked up in the psych ward for pointing out that the government's trying to get them to kill themselves, right? And when they have 23 witnesses. Before I go on, let me make it crystal clear to you. I do not regret doing the right thing one bit. Never has anyone been more proud than I am of my actions in my life. I have by far the most worthwhile life, is by far the greatest life. Because Superman faces adversity sometimes in the cartoon, should he rather be a regular person, some regular scared person, tail tucked, just afraid of Lex Luthor refusing to stand against evil? No, that is retarded. Average is not good enough. When you are governed by people who are maniacal, they're malicious, they're covetous, they're evil, do you do what they say? No, that's retarded. So my decisions are the best by far. No one else's decisions come close. So no matter how this plays out, I lived the greatest life in human history ever possible as the top martial artist, while the opposition view resorted to sabotage, including doing disgusting things, while their allies are raping kids, starving people to death all over the world, raping females, doing horrible things all over the world, treating people horribly, pretending to rehabilitate prisoners while they're just making deals with them to kind of force them down the wrong path, be it returning to crime or conforming to a wicked world in other ways. They don't know how to govern. They don't know what to do. They don't know what they're doing. They refuse to even discuss it with me because they're afraid to talk to a man about serious issues. And they're afraid to actually think about doing the right thing. Ver in virtue means man. It's called growing up. And they don't want to grow up, and they don't want to be a man. And even the people who are targeting me, they say themselves, again, I'm not trying to insult anyone in this video, these are the facts here. And this is a very important video. They say themselves that the right wing is full of racist people who are afraid to actually man up, and that the left wing, again, this is what they say, are full of people who are kind of cartoon, kind of fairy-like, okay, who are also afraid to do what's right. And when you mix the two, and independence is just it's the same thing, different form, right? When you mix the two, you get people who kind of, are mean but don't really express themselves that much unless they're really acting up, and you get a bunch of fairy-like spirits everywhere. Look at the depictions of angels, fairies. Look at how they've changed people's, they even changed my pictures to look like Power Ranger fairy pictures or something to some degree. Not to the complete degree, but on a spectrum, right? They added that little bit of cartoon to it. Anyone who's worked with, any kind of editor, any kind of, filters, they know that there's a way to do it just ever so slightly. And that's what they've been doing against God's will, without my permission, violating my constitutional rights, you name it. Not that they care. Not that I think that when I make these videos that they're going to care. In fact, the purpose of this video is to help you understand why people are sealed in hell. Not to try to get people to change their ways per se. I'm happy with my plan A. It's going on the trajectory that it's on. I've lived the greatest life ever while I'm manning up and everyone else isn't. What more can a man ask for God than to be exalted far, far, far above everyone else? As he's manning up to the pinnacle, to the greatest point possible in the human race, while they're shrinking to fit in a world ruled by pedophiles and assorted maniacs. What more could one accomplish? It is impossible to be someone else and to accomplish anything anywhere near close to what I've accomplished. But still, the human race had no right to exalt me the wrong way and for the wrong reasons by persecuting me, instead of celebrating me and exalting me the right way for the right reasons. And so, like with the parable of the tenants, the most important parable of the Bible, if you were God Almighty, what would you do to people who had hundreds and hundreds of years to learn from the story, to learn from martial arts systems and their various religions and lifestyles, to learn what's right and what's wrong as they look at people, as they internalize the stimuli in the environment and understand right and wrong in various ways, reading books, seeing movies, talking to people, what have you, raising kids who came together to persecute God's Son and to be slack in their work and to be distracted with silly, foolish, worldly things. While the most righteous person ever possible in the world suffers in 2024, what would you to them and their offspring consider that they have caused my family hardship too? Not just by persecuting me, but by, when they fume me, when they target me more than other people, and whatever things that they've done. Taking credit for the murder of 2 of my family members. Again, I'm a great warrior. If I went to war for God and my entire family got wiped out, okay, in terms of regret, I wouldn't regret a damn thing. I'd feel bad about it to some degree, but I wouldn't regret it for a split second. I'm not some kind of bitch that just does what the world says. That is not in a speck of my being. Every part of my being is a great warrior that loves God with all his heart, like God commands. The Lord is a warrior, love him with all your heart, which means be a warrior and love him with all your heart and be ready to die and sacrifice everybody at the drop of a hat. You people are not willing to do that. I can see it in you. I do not respect it. You people you also don't respect each other. And you raised your daughters to keep, more often than not, to keep reproducing in a world that is hopelessly in rebellion against God. And if you're not religious, you know that there's no possible moral path. You'd have to be batshit fucking crazy to believe that there's something moral that can be done after my flesh dies.